Okay, hello world. I'm going to be doing my tonsillectomy experience because, I think I'm on day 11 or 12 because I had my tonsils out October 2nd, and I think it's October 13th. Yeah, pretty much day 11. So, with my experience, I was extremely scared to go into the OR. I had ear tubes when I was a baby, but I never really had any procedure until now. Excuse my pajamas. Sorry. So I'm not fully recovered yet, and it's day 11, but I also have an American Girl channel, which you guys can check it out. It's called Froyo AG. And this is my first video on my slime vlogs channel. I know my name's really weird, but whatever. Anyway, so I pulled an all-nighter the night before surgery. Honestly, I don't really suggest that because I got in big trouble for it. But my mom stayed up with me and I watched Doctor Who all night. Because, we had to be at the hospital at 6 in the morning. So I was supposed to wake up at 5, but I just went upstairs and got dressed at 5. So it worked out pretty decent. And I really should have slept because I would have probably had a faster recovery if I did. So let's skip to 5 a.m. on October 2nd. I was freaking out and posting a bunch of pictures on Instagram how scared I was. And I thought I was going to die. Yeah, really, I thought I was going to die. And then by 6, we got checked in at the hospital. That was scary-ish. They just gave me a wristband. And they took me up to the next floor because it was the outpatient floor at the children's hospital. And they put me in a gown and a hospital cap. Let me get it down. I'm trying to get it down from the top of my dresser. Okay, this is my hospital cap. They were going to give me a blue paper one. But then the nurse, he was really nice, gave me this one that I got to take home, which that was cool. I did not get to take home the hospital gown, but I did also get to take home socks. Some hospital socks. I have no idea where they are, but they're so comfortable, and it's really cold in there. Okay. This might be a little bit TMI, but when I got the IV, they put this little thing on my hand. I don't know, but you might be able to see where they punctured my vein. And they stuck me. This nurse, thank the Lord, she put this little thing that it just lightly punctured. It just felt like somebody was doing this to your hand. And as it went in, it injected this numbing stuff called lidocaine. And that's how they numbed it. I still felt the needle going in, but it didn't hurt as bad. Honestly, it just kind of felt like somebody pinching you a little bit. Try to get that thing if you're going to get an IV, because just saying, it was a bloody mess. And it got all over my scrubs and the blankets, and I had to get new blankets, and it sucked really bad. And then they have to flush it with saline. It really hurts. And then they connect you to this IV bag thing. And I'm like, no, this is not happening. Please, no. I'm going to kill someone if you do this again to me. And then she's like, we hit a valve, and then she's like, she was really nice, but it hurt so bad. But they also had this really cool vein finder, and it was like an infrared light, and it showed all my veins and stuff. And then I used this one, this big fat one, because they didn't want my vein to pop. Yeah, I'm happy it didn't. Okay. And my surgery was scheduled at 8. and I got the IV around 7-ish. And then I was on my phone watching YouTube videos and stuff for like an hour. And then, well, before that, at like 7:45, the anesthesiologist came in, and he just told me about what was going to happen during the surgery and all that stuff. But anyway, he injected me, or not injected me, he put in my IV the stuff that made me crazy, and I'm like, woo, woo, woo. And I was pretty loopy at that point. And then Dr. Rothman, my doctor, came in, and he also told me what was going to happen and stuff. And then by that point, I was like, I don't remember much about going into the OR from there, because apparently on the way to the operating room, when I was getting wheeled in, I was singing Riding Dirty and saying a lot of weird stuff that I'm not going to get into. And I slightly remember getting onto the hospital bed. I asked if my parents were crying for some reason. I'm really weird when I'm under that stuff. And then they did my surgery, which I have no idea. I don't remember anything from it. And let's skip to like 8:45 when I started somewhat coming out of the anesthesia. And I wanted my mom and dad, and of course I got my mom and dad because, I mean, they were scared. And also, I was telling the nurses that they were my best friends, and I was telling them to go get me popsicles. Once again, I was singing Riding Dirty, and I have clips of this, but I don't really know how to get them into the video, so sorry. I was really weird. I was like, woo! And I tried to go to the restroom, but I need to be wheelchaired because I was wobbling very bad. Very, very badly. And it was weird. Very weird. And awkward. Anyway, my pain level once I got out of the OR, I would say probably about a 1. It wasn't bad at all. It felt just like really weird because something wasn't in my throat. It's really, really weird. And then when I got home, I saw my parents and my brother eating, and of course I couldn't eat jack squat. And I got really, really frustrated because, I mean, I was still a little bit loopy from the anesthesia. And as medication, they gave me a Vicodin, what also know is hydrocodone/acetaminophen. And I could take 7.5 milliliters every 6 or 8 hours, I think. But I also took ibuprofen with it, which I probably shouldn't have done. But I was about to strangle somebody. So, yeah. Anyway, and then at that point, like when I got home from the hospital, I was crying almost. Because I'm like, oh, I'm in pain. And it was horrifying. I was literally crying because it hurt so bad the first day. And I'm not somebody who usually cries for a lot of things. Because, I mean, I'm not that. I mean, of course, I'm super emotional, but I don't cry about a lot of stuff. Pain-wise. Like, when I get shots, I don't cry and stuff. It just felt like somebody's pinching the inside of your throat all the time. It hurt really bad. Of course, the Vicodin helps, but it hurt so bad. It still kind of hurts talking and stuff. And I talked because I'm a very talkative person. That's why this video is probably going to be like 30 minutes long. God's sake. Yeah, and then the second day, I was like, hey, PayPal, like, I couldn't talk that much. And I was just texting some of my best friends and all that stuff. Third day, was supposed to be the worst, but the second day and the first day probably were. It just was really hard because I wasn't taking the ibuprofen at that point because you're not supposed to because of bleeding risks and all that crap. And I did not like that, and I wanted to die. But by day 5, I was taking I was switching back and forth between the Vicodin and the ibuprofen because it was so bad. Yeah. I was taking the Vicodin every 6 hours and then the ibuprofen in between. So I was getting some type of pain meds every 3 hours. So that was better. And then let's skip to day 7, which was pretty recently. That's when the scabs came off. Or day 6 was pretty bad too. That's when they started coming off. I was like really mean that day. And my parents were like, why are you being so mean? And I'm like, I'm in so much pain, so get off my case, please. Excuse my messy hair. I know it's like 2 p.m., but I'm still in my pajamas because it's the last day before I go back to school, and that sucks. My voice is probably still off, but anyway, when the scabs come off, you might want to exit this video at this moment or skip another minute because I'm going to explain how they come out. So you might get grossed out. My mom did because I was home alone. I sent her a picture of the scab. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. Nope. The picture of the scab. Okay, so there are these reddish, gross, disgusting things. And you have to kind of, it feels like in the back of your throat a wall of bloody mucus. I know that's so gross, but just hang with me, okay? So you have to cough it back up, or it kind of feels like you're not throwing it up, but like if you have something stuck in your throat and you're like trying to go like, ooh, get it out. That kind of what it feels like. And it hurts really bad, and then you gotta spit it out in the sink, and it's gross, and they're about that big, somewhere around there, each one, and you cough like 8, probably like 10 of them. Oh, also I got my adenoids out at the same time, and at the hotel I was at, I was swimming in the pool with one of my good friends. Her channel is Sawyer Dog. She's a Minecraft YouTuber. Go check her out. She's a really good YouTuber. But her videos are really long. Anyway, this is also gross. You might want to skip like 15 or 20 seconds forward. This thing came out of my nose. I think it might have been some type of part of my adenoid or something. It was a little bit bloody. It was black. It was gross. Yeah, not pretty. And also the scabs are like yellowish in the back of your throat, so they're not very pretty either. And I did not like it one bit. I felt like I was gonna die 85% of the time. I tried going to Target on like day 5. That was the first time I was really out of the house. Yeah. And I couldn't talk there. I'm like, my mom was like, ooh, does this outfit look cute? And I'm like, yep. It hurt so bad to talk. And then I got another dose of medicine once I came home. And that was extremely, excruciatingly, horrifyingly painful. Just saying. Just saying. So, that's kind of my tonsillectomy. Oh, some suggestions. I liked the Outshine popsicles. Probably the pineapple coconut one and the grape were the best. Don't eat raspberry. It's so acidic. And I tried to eat one yesterday and it still burnt my throat. And I'm not even fully recovered. So, And don't think you're going to go back to school. Like, I did it over fall break.